Hey guys, 6:42 p.m. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm doing an impromptu live to talk about a couple of severe thunderstorms that have popped up in portions of the Southwest Denver metro. Pardon me if I'm not as jovial as I normally am. I got a lot to talk about. So every like and share helps. This is of particular interest if you're in the Southwest Denver metro. So Lakewood, Green Mountain, Sheridan, Littleton. We've got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings out right now. This cell appears to be weakening as it moves north of Ken Carroll and into Lakewood. And then the dominant cell that just popped up here on the north side of Roxborough Park is dumping. I've received some reports of up to golf ball sized hail. So we've got a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Douglas County and for Jefferson County. So this is moving towards the north. If you are in Littleton, if you're in Columbine Valley, it looks like this cell is going right over Chatfield Reservoir. So I just got a picture from Lacey Grafton. Yeah, it doesn't quite look like golf balls, but it's pretty decent size. So definitely getting inch to inch and a quarter sized hail moving right over Chatfield Reservoir right now. So it's getting ready to cross over C470. So if you are anywhere between Kipling and Broadway, if you live anywhere between Kipling and Broadway, be prepared for the possibility of large hail up to golf ball size. This is moving in your direction from the south. This is just on the north side of Roxborough Park to move across C470. It is right over Chatfield Reservoir as we speak. So you can see the first cell that had a warning on it that is moving north of Ken Carroll is weakening, which is great news as it's moving into the Lakewood area. But the cell right behind it is becoming the dominant cell. It pulsed up really quick, and it's right over Chatfield Reservoir right now, where it's dumping inch and a quarter sized hail. And this is verified by followers who are sending me in reports. So I'll repeat for those of you that are joining. If you live anywhere between Kipling and Broadway, in Southwest Denver, in Littleton, in Sheridan, and in Lakewood, be prepared for the possibility of up to golf ball sized hail. So Columbine Valley, Beaumar, Sheridan, the western parts of Cherry Hills Village, Inglewood, there is the potential, and it looks like some of the radar echoes are weakening a little bit, which again is great news. This is not going to be a sustained severe weather threat. As this storm moves in, a lot of cold air aloft is moving in with it, and that is providing a lot of instability for these thunderstorms to develop. So we're going to see a few pulse up here and there that are going to go briefly severe. The biggest threat, obviously, is going to be large hail, but it is not going to be a widespread, sustained, severe weather threat. Obviously, most of you will not see large hail, but unfortunately, there's going to be a few of you that will, and some of you already have. So I'm getting a lot of reports from you guys of frequent lightning. Yep, getting some hail reports. Fleur from Highlands Ranchy. I love how some of you can maintain a sense of humor during major kablamos. So I'll stay live here for a little while, at least until I can see that the severe weather threat is diminishing. Every like, share, and comment helps, guys. I'm here to serve the public. I'm here to serve the community. And I want to make sure that everybody is informed so that they can make decisions. But for those of you that are just hopping on, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning here for Douglas County. as well as Jefferson County, and this goes until 7:30. This storm moved right over Chatfield Reservoir here within the last 5 minutes or so, and it's dumping hail almost the size of golf balls. So we're 1.25 inches, almost 1.5 inches in diameter. If this storm maintains its intensity, it's moving over Chatfield Reservoir. It is crossing over C-470 as we speak between Highlands Ranch and Ken Carroll. It's moving towards the north, so anybody that lives between Kipling and Broadway, Columbine Valley, Littleton, Sheridan, Inglewood, the western parts of Greenwood Village, Cherry Hills Village, and getting into the south and west or south and east portions, of Lakewood. If this storm maintains its intensity, Bomar is in there as well. You have the possibility of seeing hail up to golf ball size, but thankfully the last couple loops of the radar are showing some of the stronger cores in this cell weakening a little bit, which is great news, but still this is producing hail. This cell that's weakened as it moved north of Ken Carroll is still producing hail in Edgemont, Edgewater, Lakewood, over the St. Anthony Medical Campus, Green Mountain Village. You're probably seeing some hail right now. This is going to continue to move north into Wheat Ridge and Arvada. And if it maintains its intensity, it'll eventually get into places like Layton, Layton Junction, Stanley Lake, eventually getting up into Rocky Mountain, into the Metropolitan Airport, where it'll cross over 36 between Flatirons Crossing and Federal Heights and Westminster. So this is the thunderstorm activity I told you guys was going to develop ahead of our storm system that's moving in tonight, and it shows violence. So again, getting several reports of hail, of course, lots of cloud to ground lightning. So you should not be outside. If you are, you're probably a nerd like me, but please be careful. Don't be a dum-dum. Let's go ahead and zoom out. And for those of you that are wondering what this big black hole of death is, this is the radar site. So that big white dome houses the radar for the WFO in Boulder and Denver. And obviously there's no radar coverage in the black hole because that's where the radar originates from. See how all of the reflectivity goes out away from the black hole of death? This is the radar site. So let's zoom out. Obviously we're seeing widespread shower and thunderstorm activity. And I told you guys that the flow was going to change from northwesterly to southwesterly as the storm moves in, and it did so rather abruptly. And so we're seeing this coverage of showers and thunderstorms increase. You're seeing some rain falling right now in Colorado Springs, a couple of claps of thunder in El Paso County. You just had a good little cell just go through Lyman. You've got a couple of good cells out here moving through Los Animas County into Kit Carson County. Another good cell out here between Bennett and Byers, and then a good batch of rain and embedded thunderstorms here in Boulder County and southwestern portions of Weld County. This is all going to continue to move north throughout the evening and going into tonight. And so I wouldn't be surprised if in the middle of the night, some of you got woke up by claps of thunder. That's just the kind of storm system we're dealing with. Thankfully, as the sun goes down and we go through the overnight hours, any severe weather threat will go down. I cannot rule out some small hail with some of these thunderstorms that develop overnight tonight and into tomorrow morning. Your commute tomorrow, well, it's Friday, isn't it? Yes. So for many of you, you don't have a commute tomorrow morning, but if you do, I would give yourself a little extra time. It's probably going to be wet. There's going to be rain. There's going to be embedded thunder boomies. It is just going to be a very wet, soggy, active next 36 to 48 hours. We have 984 people on. Awesome. Let's get it to 1,000. Every like, share, and comment helps the neighborhood meteorologist get paid. And of course, I want to make sure that people who are not aware that a storm is coming in get the most accurate and up-to-date information. And as you can see, as these storms move through the southwest portion of the metro, there's more rain and embedded thunder boomies coming in behind it. So I wouldn't be surprised if this cell that's between Applewood and Wheat Ridge now going through Lakewood, I wouldn't be surprised if that was allowed to expire. It's still more than likely got some small hail with it, probably up to dime or nickel size. But there is still a warning out for this cell, which does include Jefferson and Boulder County, or not Boulder, but Jefferson and Douglas County. It moved over Chatfield Reservoir, just north of Roxborough Park, dumping some pretty good sized hail with it. It is moving over C470 right now as we speak between Ken Carroll and Highlands Ranch. If you live anywhere between Kipling and Broadway, Columbine Valley, Littleton, Beaumar, Sheridan, Inglewood, Cherry Hills Village, Greenwood Village, South Glen, be prepared for the possibility of hail up to 1 inch in diameter. So that is quarter size. I wouldn't be surprised if there were some isolated locations that did get hail a little bit larger than that, but still, quarter size hail is big enough to produce damage. It is big enough to dent your vehicles. So you're running out of time here in Littleton. Again, this is crossing over C470 as we speak. If you guys bear with me, the messages are flooding in. Eric Grafton just sent me a picture from, the ground is covered in white at Chatfield Reservoir. Thanks, Eric, for sending that in to me. Getting a lot of thunder and hail at Bellevue and Stove Prairie and Wrist Canyon as well. Thank you, Joanne, for sending that in to me. Oh, wow. So pretty ominous looking wall cloud looking west from Parker. So if you are looking west from Parker at this cell by Highlands Ranch, there's a pretty decent looking wall cloud with this. Now, it's not rotating. Everybody take a deep breath, calm down. It's not rotating right now, but if I can pull this up, I kind of want to show everybody what this looks like. Allow. Bear with me. Oh, yeah. This is looking east from Castle Pines. Oh, you guys can't see it. Okay, hold on. Hi. Let me see if I can switch gears here real quick. I'm doing this on the fly, guys. Appreciate your patience. There we go. So if I can zoom in, or if it'll allow me to zoom in at all. Yeah, this is looking east from Castle Pines. Thank you to Paul Davis. That's a pretty ominous looking wall cloud. If this is looking west from Castle Pines, yeah, this is going to be the cell that's between Highlands Ranch and Ken Carroll. So far, it's just severe warned. I'm not seeing any rotation. Well, there might be a little bit of broad rotation. Let's pull up. Hi. We stop this real quick. Share screen again. Let's go back to radar scope. Let's go full screen. So one of the ways we tell. One of the ways I look at, or meteorologists in general, one of the ways we can tell if a storm is rotating is by looking at what the winds are doing. This is called the velocity scan. What the radar beam is doing here outside of WAC is it's measuring not only the wind speed, but the direction it's blowing in relation to the radar site. So green is going towards the radar. Red is going away from the radar, and we look for what we call velocity couplets. The tighter the couplet, the stronger the rotation in the storm, and that's a pretty broad generalization, but that's how we identify rotation in thunderstorms. And if we can't visually confirm a tornado on the ground, but there's enough rotation on radar, then the National Weather Service will issue a tornado warning, meaning that radar has indicated that rotation is present and that a tornado could form at any time. That's where eyes on the ground, storm spotters, and the public becomes critical in visually confirming what the National Weather Service is seeing on radar. Hopefully that makes sense. But there is a little broad rotation with this. It's not tornado warned yet, but there's definitely a lowered ceiling and a wall cloud on this based on all the pictures I've seen. It looks like the latest radar scan, it looks like it just crossed over C470. It's currently moving into Columbine Valley as we speak, and the south part of Littleton, between Greenwood Village and say Mount Carbon and Bald Mountain. And it's got a pretty decent hail core on it as well. So it could be producing inch diameter hail or larger. We hit 1,000. Thanks, Leslie. I know a lot of you were hopping off and on. I appreciate your patience. I know there's a lot of questions. I am attempting to multitask right now with varying degrees of success or failure, depending on who you ask, primarily me. But for those of you that are just hopping on, we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for this cell down here north of Roxborough Park on the west side of Highlands Ranch, between Ken Carroll and Highlands Ranch. It is producing hail at least 1 inch in diameter, which is quarter size. It is moving to the north into areas around Littleton, Sheridan, Inglewood. Eventually, it'll make it into it's paralleling, let's see, what is that, Santa Fe? So Santa Fe is right in the middle of this storm, and it's basically paralleling Santa Fe as it moves to the north. So eventually, if this storm maintains its intensity, it'll eventually get into downtown, into Denver. But if you're in Sheridan, if you're in Littleton, time's up. This will clip Lakewood to the east, maybe getting into Glendale, Holly Hills, maybe on the west side of I-25, the western portions of Greenwood Village. If you want to get more specific, anywhere between, I'm going to just continue to say Kipling and Broadway. I think the best chance of seeing hail up to 1 inch in diameter will be between Kipling and Broadway, and literally Santa Fe runs right down the middle of this storm, and it's moving towards the north. It'll continue to do so, moving into Beaumar, Sheridan, Inglewood, and then they just reduced the polygon. Respect the polygon. You should not be outside right now. Down to areas along and south of C470. So the strongest part of this storm, and again, it's still producing 1.5 inch or 1.25 inch diameter hail. The strongest part of this cell is along C470 right now in Highlands Ranch and basically until you get to Ken Carroll. So Columbine Valley. If you're on Mineral Avenue, if you live on County Line Road, if you're at Advent Health Hospital in Littleton, if you are along Santa Fe Drive, you're getting pelted with hail right now, especially south of Bellevue. So this is coming into Littleton right now. Inglewood, Sheridan, I wouldn't be surprised if you're starting to see a little small hail right now. Beaumar. And then this is moving obviously towards the north. I think it'll stay primarily west of I-25 until it gets past Evans Avenue. I think it'll get to I-25 at or just north of Evans Avenue, and then it'll continue to move into downtown, you don't hear this one very often, Alamo Placida, if you're around that area, if you're in the Quality Hill Historic District, the Mariposa District, if you're at Denver Health Medical Center, if you're in Cap Hill, if you're in Uptown, Clement, 5 points, the Central District, anybody downtown, this is coming your direction. If this storm maintains its intensity, it is moving your direction. But right now, it's producing hail up to an inch and a quarter in diameter, and it pelted Chatfield Reservoir. This storm that's moving into Arvada right now did have a warning on it earlier. That has been allowed to expire, but you are probably getting some hail right now in Arvada. Rose saying it's very boomy and getting a lot of lightning in Arvada, I believe it. Cheryl Garcia is 1 block west of Santa Fe, and she has pea-sized hail. Thank you, Cheryl. This is the great thing about this community that we've built is we have eyeballs everywhere. So whatever's happening isn't going to do so quietly. And I appreciate all the reports that you guys have sent in. Highlands Ranch getting pounded. Carrie, sorry that your head hurts. Jessica was bad in Morrison and Littleton. I believe it. Sherry, share your Venmo. On my website, codytheweatherguy.com, there's a link where you can donate. Thank you guys so much to all of you that have asked, but it's on my website, codytheweatherguy.com. Light rain in Aurora. Yep, I think Aurora is going to stay a little bit to the east of this cell, unless we get some additional development on the forward flank of this thunderstorm, which of course is entirely possible. But as you loop this, it looks like a lot of the heavier cores where the large hail is at has weakened, which is great news. So I wouldn't be surprised if this warning was allowed to expire at 7:30. But again, Columbine, Highlands Ranch, Littleton, Beaumar, Greenwood Village, I would still be prepared for the possibility of hail up to an inch in diameter. And again, if you're in Beaumar, Sheridan, Inglewood, Cherry Hills Village, you are not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. And you should be on high alert in downtown, north of Evans Avenue, for the possibility of hail coming your way within the next 30 minutes or so. And again, this is all part of the storm system that's moving in that I've updated you guys on over the last several days. There's a lot of stratiform precipitation and embedded areas of thunder and lightning in Boulder County, southwest Weld County, a good cell that just moved through Strasburg here between Bennett and Byers, a good batch of rain. There was a little bit of lightning with this earlier in El Paso County. That has weakened somewhat, but this is just the beginning. We have a long way to go. A lot of rain is going to fall with this. There's going to be scattered areas of thunderstorms overnight. I don't expect anything to be severe after dark, but I still can't rule out small hail. Some of you may get woke up by Mother Nature's fireworks in the middle of the night. And then widespread rain and embedded thunderstorms by the time you guys wake up tomorrow morning. Heavy mountain snowfall, where a couple of feet, maybe localized higher amounts could fall above 9,000 feet here along the Continental Divide and in the higher elevations of the foothills. Yes, I'm talking to you guys in Clear Creek County, higher elevations of Jefferson County, Gilpin County, who probably still has snow on the ground from 61 inches that fell here just a few weeks ago. And then, of course, getting up into Boulder and Larimer County, I think Rustic and Red Feather Lakes, Rocky Mountain National Park is going to get nailed with snowfall here over the next 48 hours. And then obviously the big question mark still remains, how low does the snow level get? And I talked about that earlier today on my page. That's pinned at the top, all the probabilities and timing pinned at the top of your page that you can go and easily access and reference. But I got a lot of work to do. And I'll keep you guys ahead of the storm like I always do. If you're in the Denver metro, please be on guard for the potential for large hail here over the next 30 minutes. This will probably be the last time I go live, barring any ridiculous extemporaneous circumstance. For those of you that are either in Nebraska or Iowa, or you have friends and family, my thoughts are with everybody that was impacted by tornadoes there today. Historic and awful. I actually have a fraternity brother who's dating a gal here locally. Her farm in Elkhorn was leveled. And so I've been talking with their family and with him here for the last hour. looking at pictures. Some houses were just removed from their foundations, bark being stripped off trees. Just no words. And for those of you that don't know, yes, I shared a video of that tornado on my Facebook page, and I hope Kyle gets the credit and recognition he deserves. That was a tremendous video. But tornadoes are not rated by size. Size has nothing to do with it. They're rated based on how much damage they produce, how much they eat, as Bill would say on Twister, or how much they destroy. And based on that kind of damage, if it's scouring soil from the ground and stripping bark from trees and removing houses from foundation, that's high-end EF4, potentially EF5. And if this does get an EF5 rating from the WFOs there in and around Lincoln, that'll be the first official EF5 in 11 years. So huge wedge tornadoes like that are a very rare occurrence. They only make up 1% of all tornadoes in the world. That's how rare they are. So that's all I got. Everybody be safe tonight. Stay healthy. Take care of each other. Don't be dum-dums. And I will continue to push out updates to you guys.